that there's no getting off. So we're living, just gotta go with it. 'Cause this ride's never gonna stop. Break down, don't you break down. No need to break down, no need at all. Because it's just a ride, it's just a ride. No need to run, no need to hide. It'll take you all around. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. It's just a ride, it's just a ride. Don't be scared, now dry your eyes. It may feel so right.
Hey everyone, this is Amelia Duran, your host in the Porthole to Justice, and I'm so happy today. This is my first live Spreaker, so I want you guys to bear with me a little bit. I don't know how to, okay, I see the button for chat. I'm going to invite friends from Facebook. Okay. And, all right, I'm going to invite friends via email. I don't know how to do that. Okay. Not yet. How do I get to chat? Okay. I hopefully this will work. Okay, so everyone I have with me, I'm so excited because everybody knows I've been talking about on the show, we've had on David Malkin, who's been talking about the weaponized bacteria and fungus and the nanoparticles, and talking about all the different exposures that we are subjected to. And he's gone into the spirit cooking, and we've talked about a lot of the ways that that it's programmable, and just a really amazing topic. So I am so excited today. I have with me everybody, Jillian Mai Thai, the founder of the weaponized bacteria and fungus. She's the founder of the group, and she's also coming out with a book, but she's going to talk about this more, and hopefully I can get some interaction with everybody. Julian, welcome to the Porthole to Justice.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited. I mean, I see so much about it, but kind of fun being a part of it now.
Yeah, you're welcome to the family. We're a big family.
Awesome. All right. Very good. Very good.
So, okay, I've been doing the detox for probably, well, I started, I think I may have started when I moved here. I started listening and I joined the group back in April. And then I think I got delayed because I moved. And then I think I've been on it for about 2-3 months, maybe.
Okay.
But explain to everybody a little bit about what exactly it is.
Well, what it is it's boosting your immune system and killing the candida, which is cancer. It's a fungus, because the origination of candida actually is yeast, because yeast belongs in your body's ecosystem. When it gets overfed by the sugars and the sugar substitutes and the heavy metals, it turns into candida, like a little gremlin. So when candida gets out of control, it takes over the body, just like any fungus out there that takes over a tree. It'll kill it eventually, right? Mm-hmm. And then my protocol will also kill off the weaponized virus microbes. And then I also introduce that vaccines lay the groundwork, as well as environmental toxins that adhere to the candida. There's a protein docking from the weaponized virus microbes that you get from the vaccines, right? Or environmental toxins. They adhere to the candida, and they drive that candida and and multiply as far as the virus microbes to then attack a specific part of your body. Mm-hmm. Okay? So that's why you have the diversity of such diseases and conglomerations of diseases. So when you take my protocol, which is a probiotic, a type of probiotic, and I talk about lately the method of transmission, because the holistic industry and the allopathic industry, which is Western medicine, are two sides of the same coin. They both manage symptoms using antibiotics, Mother Nature, or in the lab, so that even though they kill the candida and kill the weaponized virus microbes, but they also kill new cell regeneration, so you can't really boost your immune system. So you may, disappear symptoms temporarily, but your body is still messed up and it can't regrow any cells to boost your immune system to keep the candida and the weaponized virus microbes at bay. And it can't purge out anything that's foreign object. So then your body is still left at a diminished capacity, and then you will slowly and then even expeditiously die faster.
Yeah.
So my protocol does.
It speeds when you the candida actually accelerates. You were talking about the aging process. It accelerates.
Yeah.
It. Even if you don't get like a cancer per se, or you eat fairly healthy, you're still going to be subjected to some bacteria and parasites, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, even if you eat relatively fine, you still have leaky gut syndrome, so you're not absorbing the maximum amount of nutrition. That's why when you switch from, a hamburger diet and a fast food diet to organic, you'll go through a certain amount of detox symptoms. You'll disappear certain symptoms, but you still have the underlying cause. Mm-hmm. And you're still going to be sick because you haven't really taken care of the root issue at the cellular level. You're just managing symptoms, just like when they mainstream probiotics in a pill, powder, or a shake. Mm-hmm. It's no different than chemotherapy because lactobacillus is what Candida's mortal enemy, but that is not the only thing to kill Candida. Mm-hmm. Okay, and also rebuild your body. You need the nutritional content.
And even if you're taking and you're eating really healthy and you're eating organically, you're taking all of these herbs and everything. You're feeding it to the parasites because we all have a certain amount.
Well, not necessarily. No. Okay. So the organic food. Okay. So what's going on is the chemtrails in the skies and the pollutions and the heavy metals, right? Mm-hmm. Still feed Candida. And then you eat organic, but no one 100% eats just fruits and vegetables. Even if they do, all that nutrition that they're bringing in the body is going right through the leaky gut. Because remember, people that have issues, that when they switched, that's why they switched in the first place, is because they have leaky gut. All that nutrition it leaks through the gut into the bloodstream, and then gets destroyed by the immune system, the sluggish immune system. Mm-hmm. So you're not really absorbing the proper amount of nutrition, and your body isn't properly, detoxing out the bad toxins. So you're accumulating them, even if you're eating organic. And the herbs may sort of kill the Candida a little bit, but they also kill off new cell regeneration. So that's why people that eat herbs and extracts and supplements and pills, they're managing symptoms, but there is no cell regeneration going because herbs in of itself are antibiotic. They are anti-life. They're used in reaction to cancer, disease, and chronic illness, inflammation.
And what I really like about the juice. Okay, let's talk about the juice.
Okay.
It is. I usually get like a gallon of distilled water, and I get the pink. It's the pink Himalayan salt, and it's cabbage or kale. I haven't done the kale yet.
Oh, you should. That'll make you smile like you would not believe. It is. It has probably double and triple the nutrition that cabbage has, but cabbage is still awesome in of itself. But you will go further beyond with kale.
Okay.
And kale, the first off, can be a little offending in the beginning.
Is it? I don't know what the flavor is. I just got used to the cabbage one. Like I got used to it. At first, I struggled a little bit because it kind of tastes like. Okay, I want to tell everybody what it tastes like. It kind of tastes like sauerkraut juice, but it's tangy. It's
good.
Yeah, and it's got a really pretty. It's got a really beautiful color. It's like a bluish magenta color.
Yes, the purple. Yes. Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about like? You want to explain to everybody how you actually prepare the juice?
Well, it's really easy because it's 2 cups of cabbage or kale, and you can mix the two, 1 cup of cabbage, 1 cup of kale. And you'll chop it up, and then you'll put it in your measuring cup to get approximately 2 cups. Then you add the 2 cups of water. And this is all going into a NutriBullet because you're trying to puree this. We're not trying to make it into sauerkraut. This is pureed, where you can actually drink it and eat it at the same time. Mm-hmm. You add 1 tablespoon of pink salt or Celtic salt with 86 plus minerals. Okay. Then we said 2 cups of water, and you put it all in the NutriBullet, and you blend it, and then you pour it in your gallon jar or whatever jars you have available. You repeat the process. Okay. So if you have a gallon jar, you may do it, I would say maybe 4 times. That's about 8 cups of water. Because 16 cups are in a gallon, and you still have 2 cups of cabbage, so it's going to displace some water. So you have about 8 cups of water and about, a gallon and a quart. Okay. So, and then if you do have more, if you're about halfway up the jar and you have more cabbage and water and salt, then just add more water and salt just to level it out, because you want to have it juicy. You don't want this to be sauerkraut. Because then what you'll have to do is then just add water just to make it easier to go down, because who wants to be chewing on that, the next 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
You want it down. Yeah. This is a drink, because your goal is to get a gallon a day in your system. You are flooding your system with the nutrition that your body is missing. And you get that from the cabbage, the kale, and the pink salt, or the Celtic salt that has the 86 plus minerals or 90 minerals. Okay, because the minerals is what your body needs, so is the vitamin and nutrition that's in both the cruciferous vegetables.
Now, okay, and you let this, originally you have to let it, when you first start, you have to let it sit for...
for 3 days.
3 days. Okay.
In a kitchen between 65 and 72 degrees. Now, if your kitchen is hotter than 65, between 5 and 10 degrees is not going to make a huge difference. You can still keep it at 3 days. Even if it's like 20 degrees difference, you can probably do like a day, 2 days and a half. Even if it goes over the allotted time, it's not going to hurt it unless you are in a super hot climate. By then, the pressure outside is going to try to get inside, and then you may see mold happen, but mold is not a horrible thing. You may see like little black or white fuzz. You just scoop it off, and then you mix and stir and stick in the fridge or start to drink it. Okay, because all the lactobacillus under the brine kills all pathogens. The salt kills all pathogens. Yeast happens, that's like a light film. You'll see that in kale more often than you do cabbage, because in the kale, it's green, right? Then you see this like white little film on top, and it's not fuzzy, it's just a white film. Don't worry about it, mix and stir. Now, if your kitchen is colder, not a big deal. Add an extra day.
Okay.
So you really can't mess this up at all.
I've been actually doing 3 teaspoons of pink salt to...
That's the same thing as 1 tablespoon.
Oh, okay.
Or no, is it 4 tablespoons? I think it's 3 teaspoons. Yeah, it's 3 teaspoons equal 1 tablespoon. Okay. You need to do the salt. You have to make sure you do 1 tablespoon of salt, because the salt is paramount. It's a difference between you getting better. You can't bastardize this recipe, because you do 1 teaspoon, you're not going to get the results that you're looking for.
Now, eating and staying hydrated.
Okay.
While you're on the protocol and you're doing the purge, I've changed my diet.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So the goal is not to feed and fight the candida. The goal is to starve the candida and feed your body. Really, the goal is to drink my drink on a massive amount, where it's 90% my drink and 10% food. The food is only there to support you. The food is not your mainstay. However, we're coming off the American diet or the European diet or whatever diet's out there, and you're going to have to transition into this lifestyle. So that's why the food is so diverse, because it gives everybody every cross-section out there the opportunity to fit whatever they think is appropriate for them into this lifestyle and into bringing it in with the protocol. Okay? So the goal is to feed your body with my recipe. You'll have the right kind of foods that are not going to feed the candida. So you have the chicken and the eggs, which is because I have carnivores that are coming from, they're coming into this. I'm not trying to turn them into vegetarian, okay? So I'm giving them a animal protein option. Then they make exceptions if you have a duck farm and you want to use duck eggs, you want to use duck meat. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it. All right, but just keep with the chicken and the eggs. All right, and then the fruits and vegetables. And I also have an exception: do not at all eat lemons or limes, because they are detoxes and they will kill good gut bacteria. No kombuchas, no apple cider vinegars, because those are the wrong methods of probiotic transmissions, and they also feed candida. So that's the fruits. And then the veggies, I just say no legumes and no onions and garlic and spices. So I say no spices, and because they're all antibiotic. No roots, no herbs, extracts, anything at all that is antibiotic that is being mainstreamed out there, because that'll kill the good gut bacteria. Mm-hmm. It'll negate what your purpose is. And then the raw seeds, no flax seeds, because they are synthetic. And you can use like the chia seeds, sesame seeds. They have to be raw. You cannot cook them. And raw nuts, not roasted or salted, just everything raw. Mm-hmm. You don't need to be doing nut milk, and you don't need to be doing any kind of like nut butters, because we're not trying to have people go out and buy their nut butter processed at the health food store. And I'm not going to hold a class on how to make nut butter or nut milk. So I'm trying to keep this simple. Mm-hmm. You eat the nuts regular, chew on them. You eat the seeds regular, chew on them. No baking anything. We're not trying to make breads. We're not trying to emulate what we used to eat to fool the candida. No. What you're trying to do is just make your whole focus beyond the protocol, the drink. And the nuts are there for the crunch, and the seeds are there for a snack, and the fruit's there to kind of offset the salty taste originally, because you're going to, it's going to taste salty to you because you have candida. And some of you that are full of cancer, it's going to taste metallic. And some of you that are relatively okay, it's going to taste tangy. So there's ways to measure how bad you are by how the taste is.
Uh-huh. No.
So that's
Now, what it was really kind of shocking to me was that, okay, the first time I did the protocol, wow, I felt so good. I like got this high, and then I got the detox symptoms.
Well, they're called healing symptoms. They're even called. I had to change the wording because it's about context.
Okay.
Okay. So the wording detox symptoms are only when you're doing only a detox. And they're still, somewhat relevant because they are sort of related, but not really. Because when you're detoxing, it's still going to, as the candida, leaves your body, it's going to throw a fuss, and it's going to, make every part of your issues exponential as it leaves your body. But,
uh-oh.
What was that?
I don't know. We were having like a little...
I thought you sneezed.
No.
I was like, what? Okay.
Okay.
No, okay. So, no.
So, I'll eat like, I'll make like a coconut chicken, and I'll make an avocado gazpacho,
don't cook the coconuts. No cooking. There has to be raw nuts. You can't cook any nuts.
No, the coconut, like, what is it, in the can? Just like no, not even that.
No. Unless you're taking.
I thought it was okay.
No, see, here's the thing, honey. Here's the thing. And you may not have studied the diet as closely as you need to, and that's okay. But what you're trying to do is you're not trying to flavor your food to such an extent. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the coconut is there. If you get a raw coconut from the store, you can drink the milk and drink the water. Okay, you can eat the coconut pieces as a snack. It's not going to hurt anything. When you start cooking it and doing all those type of things, then you're possibly starting to feed the candida, because now you're condensing the sugars.
Oh, okay.
You're killing off any nutritional benefit. And there really isn't a major amount of nutritional benefit in coconut, mm-hmm. because it is still antibiotic, but it's not as strong as antibiotic like garlic is, or turmeric, or any of those pungent spices. It's still antibiotic, but it's not as strong. That's why it's called a carrier oil. That's why it's used as a carrier oil when you're trying to administer homeopathic remedies on your skin, because you don't want some oils to burn you. So you mix it with coconut oil or those benign carrier oils.
Uh-huh.
So coconut is just there, just like other nuts are just there just to eat and snack on. But do not cook with them. So now you know.
Okay. And then, so the gazpacho's okay, because that's a non-cooked soup you make in the blender. It's just like cucumber and avocado. And I've been eating raw cashews and raw almonds. Like, I'll snack on that.
Fine.
And then I super crave watermelon. Like,
yeah, that is, yes, watermelon is awesome. Even eat the rind. If you actually puree the rind, it's like a cucumber, and it's really good for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have a Facebook page, and it's a group, and you profile all of this information. And I've been a member of the group probably, I think, since I'm probably around April. I think I joined. Lori LaRock turning me on to it, and she's tuning in. She's tuning in, and she's saying hi, Jillian.
Oh, hi. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, okay. The first thing I noticed when I joined the group is people are passing a lot of parasites.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, that actually surprised me because I wasn't originally in that frame of mind of purging parasites. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't really think about that they're also a foreign object. And it makes sense because when you boost your immune system to such an extent, it's going to purge out anything that doesn't belong. And parasites don't belong. Neither does fungus, neither does implants. Mm-hmm. Not saying if you have a boob implant, you're going to be pooping that out. However, the body will treat accordingly based upon what it can do with it. So yes, parasites are probably the nastiest thing I had to sort of study that I didn't want to.
Yeah, and, I mean, even for myself, I was like, okay, I noticed something was moving in my toilet, and I was like, oh my god, and I got really freaked out, so now I just don't look anymore. Good,
because you don't want to have nightmares. Yeah. Seriously, that is the stuff of nightmares. Ugh.
Yeah, but I know that I'm just happy that they're leaving.
Yeah, right. Better out than in, they say, right?
Yeah. So, this diet is good for most people, but I know that you say some people have to be careful, like if you have a transplant.
Actually, yeah, if you have a major organ transplant, you can't do it unless you have a backup system. The only backup system that are for your body is kidneys and dialysis. Mm-hmm. You have a heart transplant or a liver transplant or even a lung transplant, and the other lung is missing because it was removed, and then you have a transplant of one lung, and the other one is gone, or even not even working. There is no way. There's no backup for a lung, no backup for a heart, and no backup for a liver. Mm-hmm. But there is a backup for kidneys. So if you have one kidney removed and the other one's a transplant, you could regrow that kidney if you can sustain the dialysis for a certain amount of time. Which I guess you can do dialysis for a long time.
Yeah, and when you say regrow, now this is the interesting part, okay? Because I always think of starfish because they regenerate in the ocean. There's lots of sea salt. There's lots of salt in the ocean and lots of life. And, starfish will actually regenerate body parts. So that, for some reason, it makes me think of that. But, I actually had a friend recently that, I want to ask you, I have two questions. I want to ask you about managing symptoms, the healing symptoms. And then I actually had a friend that their tattoos started oozing or rejecting the ink.
Yeah.
And I had on David Malkin. He comes on and he talks about biology and the weaponized bacteria and parasites. And, we were talking about how they replaced a lot of the tattoo ink with the black goo, which is the programmable bacteria and programmable. And so I was just wondering, is that because the tattoo, the thing with the tattoos is it fuses with your nerve endings, the black goo.
Right.
So I was wondering, would it actually would it actually start rejecting it, or?
Well, it's like this. It's a foreign object. Anything that does not belong in your body, like ink, or pacemakers, or staples, or stents, it will eventually heal to where it'll purge it out. I can't tell you if it's going to, but I could see that would make sense because it's healing your skin. I mean, I have a tattoo of my ring on my finger. Now, I haven't done anything on this ring finger as far as soaking my finger in the juice. But the theory is there. You have something that doesn't belong in your body, it's going to heal. Because, tattoos are skin abuse. It's beautiful, but you're still putting a foreign object in your body. You're putting poison in your body. Just like taking pills, pharmaceuticals. When you're taking pharmaceuticals with my protocol, it's going to render them useless at some point.
Also like RFID chips and nanoparticles, they will also be purged and pushed out. Because the why those things sustain in your body is because of a compromised immune system. Your immune system is paramount, and when it's kept sluggish and compromised, it's allowed to house in things that program you, such as the weaponized virus microbes and the cancer and chronic illness. You boost that immune system effectively, everything that doesn't belong in your system gets pushed out. That's why you see people that had an accident 10 or 15 years ago, glass in their face. I had a lady that said that she sees glass coming out of her face because they didn't take glass out when they did the operation after her accident. Wow.
So, people's stents have come out. Staples have come out. I mean, you're not going to need all the bolts and the titanium rods. I mean, the body will do something with it. I mean, you've heard of people with bullets in their brain, right? They don't remove it because they don't want the person to go brain dead. So they keep it in their head, and then one day it comes out of their nose cavity. The bullet just comes out.
So, yeah, and folks, I want you to go to Jillian's Facebook webpage. It's, can you share with everybody? Because there's a lot of testimony from a lot of people that have had an experience healing, including myself, and I haven't yet posted my testimony, which I need to do, but I have a little one, because I haven't been on it quite long enough yet, I feel like, but, you want to share with the listeners, because we're getting hi Lisa, I see Lisa and Lori LaRock are tuning in, you want to share with them the group?
Yeah, it's called Exposing the Lies, Candida, weaponized fungus, mainstreaming mutancy, and it's a closed group. It has it categorized as a support group. I also have a fan page that has the same name, so you may see both of those. Okay. But you can like the fan page or the biz page, and then you can add yourself to the group. So you'll see that, two of them, when you do Google that or Facebook that.
And so what I love about this too is there's no gimmicks. There's not a lot of stuff to buy. There's not like a lot of money. This is something you can just incorporate very easy. It's just a head of purple cabbage or kale.
Or green cabbage. Green cabbage.
Yeah, you can use green cabbage too. It's pink salt or Celtic salt and a gallon of distilled water, and you just purify it. And you're gonna drink. I'm on my 16. I've done 16 ounces since we've been talking, and I'm gonna be doing a gallon tonight. I like to do the gallon because and then Lori LaRock just made up a really good point. It also will detox out of you stored emotional trauma. Can you go into that? She's saying that.
Yeah, Candida holds cell memories. So anything that your parents went through, or all the virus microbes that they've had been housed based upon their exposure to vaccines and environmental toxins, and all of their traumas, and any traumas that you've dealt with in the past, like rape, incest, abuse, even blunt force trauma, injuries, all of that does come up. And it comes up in a very intense emotional feeling based upon what you experienced. So, I mean, I had some pretty interesting traumatic stuff in my life, and I had a major breakdown, but it wasn't like horrible. I didn't like go nuts, but it was just like an intense emotion that came out of nowhere. To the point of where I actually threw a hanger, and I don't throw things. Okay. I did that when I was a kid, when I would hold temper tantrums. So it kind of reverted me back to childhood for a minute. But my husband triggered me, so I went there for a minute, and then I came out of it, and now it's like my whole demeanor, I don't get triggered. I'm calm, even when he gets like, impatient and he yells sometimes because he has candida, right? Mm-hmm. I don't even bat an eye. It's like, you didn't have to yell. He's like, oh.
I noticed that a lot of the conditions that people associate with, they're programmed to think this and this because,
yes.
you're talking to the programs as well. You're not just talking
mind control.
Yeah.
Mind control. Yeah.
Let's talk about the mind control for a minute because I think that's a really interesting aspect of this because there's a lot of applications that they're putting a lot of additives into the foods, like the junk foods that the children are eating today are nothing like what we ate like 2 decades ago. Like it's weaponized. It's got so much it's got programs in it. It's got the weaponized bacteria in it. I mean, they're putting stuff in sodas. They're putting you read about, they're putting the baby fetuses and the nanoparticles and all that stuff is going into this junk food that we're eating. So let's talk about that for just a second.
Yeah, all of that. I mean, my gosh. I mean, with all the chemicals, I mean, it does alter. I mean, you can see just when kids react from just red dyes and the ADHD and the lack of focus, and then all the different virus microbes that alter the 12 different systems. And then then also too, whatever the mom had in the past will then contribute to all of that mind control. And
that's also cellular memory. That's what they call cellular memory.
Right.
Memory, yeah.
Right. I mean, so that's why you see people with, that may be able to speak a language they never were taught before. Mm-hmm. Somebody in their family, maybe a very strong candida cell, was able to make its way into the brain, and then this person either has dreams or they're able just to have a natural aptitude. That's where the talents and aptitudes, as well as breakdowns, happen because it was passed down.
And I want to tell everybody, if you go back into my archives on the Portal to Justice, I have David Malkin on as a guest, and he's been a guest several times. And there's several episodes where he goes into detail on this subject, the many different aspects of the program, which also he goes into the spirit cooking part, which a lot of people aren't aware of. I don't know if you're aware of it, the spirit cooking.
I've heard about it, yeah. I've heard about it. I haven't studied too much of it, but I've seen some of the pictures, but I haven't gone fully into it. But I could see, it's like the attack on the spirituality. Mm-hmm. That's really all I know about it.
Yeah, well, what it is they've done is basically, if you think of, in the past, in witchcraft, you see, I'm going to try and do my best explanation, but he does it much, much more better than I do and in great detail. He goes into the whole biology of it, but I guess, in the past, you would see witches and they would have cauldrons and they put in all of their different ingredients, and then they do their incantation and they program. They would, that would be a programming of the spell, if you will. So I guess what's happened with the spirit cooking is they're doing that. But they're adding all of this new stuff into the foods, into the vaccines, and into the sky and the chemtrails. And then what they're doing is they can use radio waves now because they've added the weaponized programmable bacteria and the nanoparticles, and they can use radio waves, Lily waves, to activate it, and then they can, in your stomach, your actual stomach becomes, they do it in an hour where they know everybody's sitting in front of the TV and they're watching TV and they've ate all of their fast food or your junk food, you've had your dessert, and they activate it, and literally your stomach becomes the cauldron. So whatever tension, they can literally program you that way.
That makes sense. I can see how that is. Yes. Yeah, especially when they know that candida is what the thing that drives people, and you can program that candida based upon obviously all the triggers, right? Mm-hmm. Because you do get programmed over time. Mm-hmm. TV, you know, your family history, your background.
Yeah.
So all that, I could see how they would activate, and they know different areas have different, you know, crime waves. You know, the yuppie area, they have different programs, and you have your ghetto that has other programs, and they know which foods, they know which vaccines, they know, and so I'm sure they all program those triggers to happen at certain times, and especially with the politics on the TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why around the election time we started seeing all of the elites and everybody participating in the spirit cooking, because they were really trying to get people to, you know, react in a specific way, you know. And I guess David talks about it in detail. He talks about there's like 6 to 18 or 6 to 12 different applications to programming, and he goes into detail about it. And I'd love to have you both on the show sometime. That would be awesome.
I can put those two together. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah. He's pretty incredible. Really. Just really intelligent, well-read man. He's very knowledgeable about history, and really interesting shows. So you can go back and you can check that out, guys, so you can get more details on that. But I wanted to ask you one other question about the managing the healing symptoms.
Yes. Okay. So you had a question, you want me to go through it?
Well, because, you know, this is the thing, like, you're going to get initial healing, but then I noticed with myself, I had, like, kind of a delayed reaction where I go through. So now I've kind of learned to manage it, but I'm going to let you do your thing, say your thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, because everybody has different maladies that happened in the past. Let's say they were dealing with acne, or they were exposed to mold and they had eruptions. They kind of kept them at bay, or they have, you know, it's the eczema or psoriasis or herpes. Any kind of skin eruptions that happen, it happened either from the past, like you dealt with that and managed that in the past, or you're dealing with that today, presently, or it's a future trigger. So maybe you had shingles in your future because it was a dormant virus based upon the shingles vaccine that you received maybe 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you have any skin issues, you use my juice. So you can take a spray bottle and strain out the solids and then spray yourself, or you can take, you know, large cabbage leaves, don't cut it up, and just ferment them and then use them as needed. As far as ears, you can use them in your ear if you have any ear fluid or ear issues or earache. Eyes too, because some people do have, you know, blood vessels that pop behind the eyes because candida does detox, or the healing symptoms do happen around the eyes sometimes. Mm-hmm. Also for the scalp as well. Candida up the birth canal, yeast infections will happen. That happened with me. I douched with the juice. You can also use it as for hemorrhoids. You can also use coconut oil for hemorrhoids. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you don't drink as much of the juice because you're afraid to deal with some of the healing symptoms because you have work or a heavy schedule and you're only trying to do like 2 cups a day, then you're going to have constipation. That's just going to go hand in hand when you're only doing a little bit of juice at a time. Mm-hmm. So with constipation, you just do an enema, or you stick your finger in your butt and you pull the poop out. And you just massage your anal glands and you just let it come out. And it's going to be, I mean, if you have a lot of poop up there that has not, that has been caked and embedded for a while, it's going to be hard to get out, especially when you're drinking, even a lot or a little. The body, the candida is going to hold that poop hostage, so you have to release it. And that's when you feel that bloated feeling. Because you'll have waterfalls in the beginning, and if you don't keep upping the dosage and keep upping it so you can be more aggressive, the candida will find a way to hold hostage its food supply. So that's why I say do not go through your gut trying to manage constipation. Then you end up in a cycle of dependence and you'll destroy your gut bacteria. So no psyllium husk, no prunes, no anything. You use my juice or you pull the poop out.
I also too, and I want to touch on this briefly because I think this is really important too. Addictions, bad habits, things that, drinking too much alcohol or drugs, things like that. This helps, right?
Oh yes, because addictions are candida. That's all mind control. It's programmed candida. Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean you're drinking the alcohol or smoking cigarettes based upon past traumatic experiences that you're trying to mask. It's a form of masking, antibiotic. So and I smoked too before I did all this. And then when I drank my drink, and I think I might have smoked 1 or 2 cigarettes while I was on the protocol. But after a certain amount of time, you're not going to want to smoke the cigarettes because all of that desire leaves. But yeah, you're going to have healing symptoms, especially if you are a heavy alcoholic. Now, you're not going to die or you're not going to have seizures like crazy because the salt will stop the seizures from happening. Mm-hmm. But you still have to be aware that if you were an LSD addict for a long time, that's going to come up. Just like this trauma and the psychological trauma that you experienced in the past, that's going to come up and revisit you for a minute, and then it'll get processed out. Okay, so addictions are no different than psychological trauma. It's programmed candida that you're purging out.
Mm-hmm. And this is also, like she mentioned at the top of the hour, generational family traumas that you're passing down generation to generation.
Yeah.
A lot.
Monarch.
Yeah.
Yes, monarch programming. You can detox out that monarch programming.
This is amazing.
Generational.
This is,
generational.
Such a godsend to so many people in the portal to justice suffer with the programming.
Yes.
From many different aspects, and the monarch, all of the different, and they're working through that. So this is for you. Jillian's protocol is for you to help you heal, to help you be stronger, to help you think clearer. This is going to help you heal also spiritually. So, and then talk about, tell everybody about getting back online. When you say getting back online.
Getting back our mind or getting back online?
Online, your immune system.
Oh, yeah. Because you have 12 different systems that work simultaneously. Your body is a business process. They all have a specific intention with a specific outcome. The intention is life. It wants to live. When you add in competition, you're either going to feed the competition or you're going to feed feed your body, right? So when you boost your immune system and you get rid of the competition, which is the parasites and the candida, you're going to allow your immune system and your 12 different systems to get back online again and to work the way they're supposed to, symbiotically. Okay, because the allopathic and the holistic community treat your issues as if they were separate of each other, like they were all compartmentalized, like one did not have to do with the other because they're just targeting a symptom. Because you'll see that when you go to a health food store and you see that this is a lung cleanse or this is a liver cleanse or this is this cleanse, they act just like the allopathic community. This is a drug for this, for lupus, or a drug for your stomach, or a drug for your brain, or whatever, right? You see they're all compartmentalizing your body parts. So they're not taking your body as a whole. So that's why when you do my protocol, you're getting your whole body back online where all of your systems are actually talking to each other. Cross-functional communication.
Yeah, and it's amazing because just to kind of try to explain what I experienced. I mean, I feel like I have a very close connection with, my higher self and the Most High. And I've always been kind of hyper intuitive. But when I started the protocol on the second month, I noticed I was laying in bed and it was raining outside. And I noticed I felt so inside my body, like my soul was completely inside my body.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and I just felt like every little thing was just, it was like everything had life, you know? It was...
Right, and you feel a sense of calm, a sense of well-being, a sense of...
yeah, like everything was supporting my body and me and being healthy. And I had a deeper sense of this. And then I also felt like I was more present. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're not distracted and foggy-headed and all over the place, scattered. Like, you're more focused.
Yeah. Okay, so I do want to tell everybody, like, it's all really positive and everything, but I do want to say, if you're working or you're, like, for me, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so it's kind of easy for me to do the protocol, but you don't want to be far away from the bathroom.
Yeah.
And it's not like all like a walk in the park. Like I got really sick, Jillian, like on the second month.
Yeah.
I had some headaches, and I felt like it was in my third eye area.
Your pineal gland?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had some like fluid come from my ears too. Pretty intense headaches.
Right. Yeah. That is your brain healing. Yeah. When you're feeling pain, that's why I have a post in the group called Pain is Healing. Mm-hmm. Because what we've been taught is every time that we're in pain, we mask it and we take an antibiotic, whether it's Mother Nature or the lab. What that does is, yes, it may stop the inflammation, which is the candida temporarily, but it also stops the new cell regeneration to help boost your immune system. Mm-hmm. So that's why, if the pain gets too intense, you cut back or you give yourself a couple of days off, and you're still healing in that time and process. So don't get scared if you're still feeling symptoms and you stop drinking it for a few days, especially if you go like a gallon a day right off the bat. I've had people do that, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, you're doing some major healing." It's like being, beamed up from the ground up to the mothership, and you're feeling yourself dematerialize to materialize up in the mothership. No, we don't want. If you could be healed all at once, you'd be a mess on the floor in excruciating pain. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's why when you have a busy life, you really want to segment off at least 5 hours out of your day. So if you get home at 5 o'clock, between 6 and 10, you're going to do whatever it is amount that you can do right off the bat in a short amount of time, and give yourself at least 3 or 4 hours to purge. So that way, when you go to work tomorrow morning, you can still try to make yourself poop if you haven't pooped. Okay, and you can eat your breakfast and whatever, and you have your day, and then when you get home, you purge, and then you keep upping the dosage. And you'll have to manage that strategically, because, you'll have to see what hurts and how hard is it to get to work if you're feeling this, or you do a little bit, Monday through Friday, and then you do, let's say, a gallon on the weekends.
Yeah. So like what I'll do is I'll do my gallon, and then I'll take the pulp while I'm preparing my next gallon. I'll do feet soaks in the pulp.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll do a foot soak. I'll try and soak my feet. You can even do like, I started doing this. I don't know if this is a good idea, but I just put like rubber bands and plastic around my feet, and then I put socks over it, and I put the pulp inside. And
yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, and you can soak in it for like 3 hours, and and I think it works great, because a lot of that, your feet are very porous, so your feet will absorb a lot of it. And also, too, the nanos or the heavy metals they all go to the bottom of your feet. So this is I found that it's really great. It feels really good. So I feel like it really helps. So I'll do that. Like if I'm having too heavy of the healing, then I will alternate. I'll alternate with the feet soaks to the juice.
Yeah. That works. Whatever works for you, because here's the thing. You want to get as much as you can in your system in whatever manner you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want people to do is if they can purge. So you want to purge because you want to see it come out of your poop. You got to get rid of the poop. And if you think you can get rid of poop through your feet, okay, but
well,
just
I think I'm absorbing it at the very least. If I'm not drinking it, I still think that I am absorbing it through my feet. I don't know.
Yeah. You are, but you still got to go through your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to push out all that poop. And it's harder to get to your gut from your feet. It'll still get there and heal.
Yeah, no, and I will do this to manage, so that, okay, I might have to make a new batch. So I have, 24 hours. Or I have 3 days. This time I forgot to save. Oh, talk about the starter. How you save a little bit so you can start your new batch. And you only have to wait 24 hours.
Right. It's like Amish bread. You take about a cup of your 3-day ferment and you put it in a new jar. Or if you have a cup left, you're down to your last cup in your 3-day ferment, you just add the ingredients, the same ratios, 2 cups of cabbage, 2 cups of water, a tablespoon of salt. And you repeat the process, and then you let it sit for 24 hours. Because that starter is allowing the expeditious fermentation to happen. Because it's just, that's the starter.
Yeah,
when you're doing
you don't have to wait so long. You don't have to wait the full 3 days. Yeah.
Right, because 3-day ferment creates that, but now that we have a starter in there, it just cuts the time down. And if you have a really, really hot kitchen or a really, really hot climate, then it may only take half a day. Mm-hmm. But I would still keep it for 24 hours because it can't hurt. No matter what, it can't hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well,
it's too easy.
We have 5 more minutes, and I want to make sure that everybody joins your groups so they can read your files. And I want you to also, everyone, she's coming out with a book, and Jillian does do individual consultations. You can contact her through Facebook, but tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, you can private message me. I mean, I have options. If you don't have a lot of money or whatever, or you really feel like you want to read a lot, then go into the Facebook group, and of course, you can find my name everywhere, so you can always private message me and add me as a friend. But you go to the files and you read everything from chronological order from 1 to 24 or whatever I have the numbering system. And then if you want a private consultation, I do $75 right off the bat, and you could be for longer than an hour. I don't necessarily do an ongoing support back and forth. However, you have access to the group. If you ping me occasionally on a private message, just kind of checking in, perfectly fine. But the constant, oh my gosh, that's where the group comes in. That's where my moderators come in to help with that ongoing. But I want to get people that don't have an idea where to start in the right direction. And sometimes I'll do a 10-minute free phone call just to get you in the right direction because you need some kind of direction. But if you need more of a hand holding, more of just extra special help, then that's where that $75 comes in. That's through PayPal, and you can find that on my pinned post in the group. Awesome. So you'll have all the options.
And you're going to be coming back on the show because you're going to be releasing a book soon, right?
Yeah, there's 2 books. So now here's the thing with my new publisher. Since I pulled out of my last publisher, so I was going to publish that one book and I pulled out. So now I'm with the new publisher. They might make it a set. They might make it a combined thing. I don't know. And it's going to be tied to a website. So that's in the works. However, this group will still be going no matter what. My website will have a membership type of thing for anyone that really wants, extra special, continuous 24-hour support. Mm-hmm. So that way, we can all try to live in our society, But we're taking money away from the pharmaceuticals and the holistics and giving people a chance to invest a little bit in themselves and then get on the right path. And then they'll never see us again. Or they might say hi and say, hey, I'm perfectly fine, I love you, and then they go off in their own direction. Because I don't want someone doing this with me 24/7 for the next 20 years. That's not the goal, is to have you as a client forever. This is all short term.
And folks, it is a process, and sometimes you do need that extra bit of encouragement or hand holding, if you will, because you're going through this. Every part of the process is a little bit. There's something new that I'm learning. So yeah, so, you know, you can get a hold of Jillian on Facebook, and you can private messenger her, and she does private sessions for $75, and I think she's available also on PayPal. And oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming on the Portal to Justice. I just love you.
Oh, love you too. I mean, I think it's so awesome that you have something like this, because I mean, I hear about podcasts, but I mean, it's just now it's a difference of being in one and seeing how far you reach. So that's really awesome that you created that.
You know, we get our little community bigger and bigger, especially when we branch off to these newer topics. But yeah, and maybe I can get you and David both on the show sometime.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, that'd be fine. That would be really
great. Well, thank you so much, everybody. This has been another episode of the Porthole to Justice, Off the Cuff with Jillian Mai Thai. And thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Thanks, Lori LaRock. Good night, Lisa. Yeah. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye. Thanks, Amelia.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. Yay.
Bye.
Okay. All right. Except that there's no getting off. So living, just gotta go with it. 'Cause this ride's never gonna stop. Break down, don't you break down. No need to break down, no need at all. Because it's just a ride, it's just a ride. No need to run, no need to hide. It'll take you all around. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. It's just a ride, it's just a ride. Don't be scared, now dry your eyes. It may feel so real inside, but don't forget, enjoy the ride. It's just a ride, it's just a ride. No need to run, no need to hide. It'll take you all around. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. It's just a ride, it's just a ride. Don't be scared, now dry your eyes. It may feel so